English translation, 412th contact, Friday, 3rd February 2006, E 28 hours.
Oh, this surprise, Quetzal, my friend, greetings and welcome. You, indeed, I expected the least of all, for I thought Florina would come after she called earlier.
Dear friend, you be greeted also, and I am happy to be able to surprise you. That is how it should be. That is why I asked Florina to announce a visit, without saying who is coming to you. For my part, I did not want to miss the opportunity to visit you today to talk to you as a dear friend on your 69th birthday.
The surprise is really something. But you surprised me, because it is not your manner to talk about birthdays. Do you have a special reason for that?
The reason is that I took the time, especially for this visit, because exactly on your birthday today, I will be accepted as a member of the Plejaren spiritual leadership in less than 6 hours. That is what I wanted to tell you personally.
This is another surprise that I am very excited about. But how did you manage to do this so quickly after you became an Ishwish?
I thought that you would be very happy, which is why I chose the time of your 69th birthday to tell you. It was going to be a surprise.
Which you did. But just now, how did you achieve that so quickly? As far as I know, it usually takes quite a long time for a Ishwish to be accepted into the spiritual leadership because you do not know the vitamin B.
Vitamin B, what is the reason for this? What do you mean?
Vitamin B is what we call the relationships a person needs to have if he wants to achieve something that can only be achieved through relationships.
Strange, but I understand. No, relationships in this sense are foreign to us, because if something is to be achieved, it can only be achieved through appropriate commitment and performance. And the fact that I have already been accepted as a member into the active spiritual leadership is based on the efforts and achievements I have made since I received my status as an Ishwish. As you know, the status of Ishwish does not mean that membership in active spiritual leadership is automatically associated with it.
Yes, I know. The membership has to be earned. It could be compared to the professions here in our country, such as those where you have to complete the apprenticeship and pass the exams, which results in a journeyman status, which is similar to the status of the Ishwish. If the profession is then further educated here, then the status of master emerges from it, which then, so I think, actually corresponds to the status of spiritual leadership with you. Am I right in this, or am I wrong?
The comparison is good because it can actually be seen as so.
Well, I hit the nail on the head again. But what are we going to do now? I do not really have any questions for you. Your surprise is really successful.
Today I noticed that you cut down all the trees at the rabbit enclosure on board, and that the enclosure is empty. Also in the house bunker you cut down several trees. I think the whole thing is very good because the tall trees were a danger, because they could have fallen down in a storm.
Well, my friend, you have a clever hunch, because I dreamt about how several of the trees fell down due to snow loads and by storm, killing Engelbert and 2 hikers. So I acted immediately and cut down all the trees I saw falling down in my dream, or where heavy branches were falling down, and 1 rider was also seriously injured. You know, I rely on my dreams when they occur in this way. I have always done well with that and could avoid a lot of bad things. I must also say that it was decided to stop keeping rabbits and to return the enclosure to nature. We estimate that it will take us about 2 or 3 years to get everything back to its original state. We want to grow meadow flowers, etc. there and make a seat or something like that for the group members. At least that is what we did for a group meeting for the time being.
You did the right thing in cutting down the trees, because they were really big and very dangerous. Actually, humans could have been hurt. However, you should stock the cleared board at the enclosure with various small bushes, ground covers, and small shrubs, while you should take care that no high-stemmed trees grow anymore. The lower part of the enclosure should also be planted with greenery, and I would like to express the wish that you use strong ivy, which will be suitable for this purpose.
We have already planted some periwinkles and other ground cover on the board, for which I would like to add some barberries. The idea with the ivy is good, so I will present your wish to the group and hope that it will be granted.
My wish is not an order, but it would be highly recommended to let the mesh grow over with ivy. But now, my friend, I feel like competing with you in chess and having a private conversation with you. And if you have some chocolate here, then...
Sure, just a minute. Here, my son, you can feast on this.
Thank you. Ah, yes. What I have to say is this. We have been advised that you should make a change in the bylaws, in Article 4, Item B. Because everything has developed so well in the last few years that it is now possible and necessary for members to be able to engage in political activities, but this can only be done on a purely private basis and not by the association as such. The association as such is politically and religiously neutral and must remain so. Consequently, political activity of the members may only take place on a purely private basis, which does not exclude, however, that in politics, interests, and the teaching of the spirit and the efforts of the association, figu may be represented and brought to bear. Therefore, Article 4b must be rewritten as follows. RT, 4 General Provisions 1, Religious, Political, Idealistic Views. B, Fee, GU itself and all its groups are politically and religiously neutral, although each member has the freedom to hold private political office and to represent figu interests.
And so, in this form, this does not come into conflict with the statutes and bylaws, because the political activity is purely private, and does not affect the political neutrality of figu, I understand. Then I will arrange everything and present it to the group on occasion. But I have one more question. Since the statutes are purely a matter for the core group, the whole thing does not have to be brought forward for approval of the passive General Assembly, does it?
That is correct. The core group can make the change without hesitation on its own initiative in the corresponding point of the statutes. Let us move on to the chess game.
Okay, here I go. Shall we use the roller table to play on as usual?
Today, I find it more comfortable here on the sofa at the table.
Please, as you wish. Then we can